Join me as today I finish off issue number 8 of Eagle Moss Hero Collector's 1/8 scale Ecto-1. Hey everybody, Jason here of GhostbustersNews.com, and as always, Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube. And yes, today I'm back again, and we're going to be finishing off this time issue number 8 of Eagle Moss Hero Collector's 1/8 scale Ecto-1. And before we get into today's build, and we show you that massive Ecto that's forming right in front of my eyes, right in front of your eyes, if you'd like to sign up for your very own subscription, we've got links right down below in the description right now. Click them and sign up today. You'll have pieces of the Ecto-1 delivered right to your door, and you can build your very own Ecto-1 just like I'm doing here, and just like I'm going to do right now. So let's go ahead, move that camera around, and let's go to the build table. Alright guys, so we've moved over to the build table here, and today we're going to be finishing off issue number 8 of Eagle Moss Hero Collector's 1/8 scale Ecto-1. Let's go ahead and flip to stage 25. So it looks like today we're going to be kicking it off with the horns and the junction box. So give me a second, let me bring the pieces of stage 25 up on the table here. Alright, so for today's build, it looks like we got quite a few screws we're going to be putting in place there. And for the actual pieces, kind of small pieces. I mean, recently with our builds, obviously we've been building like the main chassis frame. So I've been used to some pretty large stages. But yeah, today it looks like we're going to be doing some pretty small builds here. So the first portion here is going to be assembling the radiator beam, as you can see. This is a metal piece. Let's go ahead and lay this down just how they have it here in the book. I want to make sure I get everything correct, so just lining up the holes here to what we have in the book. So we're going to put this down here, and we're going to be grabbing the 2 radiator beam struts. So it's these 2 pieces here, these here on the instructions, and we're going to be securing those in place using 2 DM screws. Okay, so I got the second DM screw in place there. So yeah, radiator beam is finished, it looks like. From there, we're going to be building the junction box here. So place the junction box cover, which is this little guy here. And of course, we need the actual junction box, which looks like this little boy. We're going to be attaching everything. Let me see, I'm just trying to map it out as best I can to what I see there. It looks like that. Yeah, like this. We're going to be securing this in place using, what do we got there? Another 8. And we're going to be securing this in place using an HP screw. So let's go ahead and crack open that bag. Okay, so junction box has been built, and then it looks like we're going to be attaching the box, once again, to the radiator beam here. So how does this go? It looks like just like that. Yeah, so that is where it should be, it looks like. So we're going to be attaching that using a couple of EM screws. Okay, so first screw going in there. Let's go ahead and pop the other in. Okay, so we got the second screw in place there. So it looks like our next step, part number 3 here, is going to be fitting the sidewalls to the radiator beam here. So it looks like we're going to start over on this side here, and yeah, we're just going to put that over there, rest it on top, and we're going to secure that in place using 2 DM screws. Okay, so we got the DM screws in place there, and then we're going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side. So just kind of situate that and run 2 more DM screws through the holes there. Okay, so from there, yeah, we've got both the left and right hand walls on the radiator beam there. And this right here is a great shot of where we currently stand on stage 25 as we come to the end of page 13. Okay, so moving on to part number 4 here, we're going to be assembling and fitting the horns. So let's go ahead here. We're going to be grabbing both horns out of there and all the other small little pieces that we are going to need. So yeah, it looks like the actual construction of the horn is pretty easy. Just everything snaps into place. Just got to make sure I've got the right little connector piece here. Yeah, so everything once again just kind of snaps right into place there. And we're going to be securing this together using 1 HP screw as shown. Okay, so the screw in there. So figure A is done. Let's go ahead and move on to figure C as we make another horn here. Okay, so we got both the horns there fitted. Once again, we're going to do a quick up-close shot of these 2. And it looks like next, some assembly is going to be required because we're going to be bringing back in this little piece here, and we're going to be attaching the radiator to it. So let's go ahead and move the horns to the side for the time being. Oh, hello there! Sorry to interrupt today's video, but I just realized I made a mistake. Just like a second ago in this video, I casted those horns aside that I had built. You saw it. Go ahead and move the horns to the side for the time being. Yeah, that was a complete mistake because I totally missed right here, figure B and figure D. Apparently I was supposed to attach the horn to the radiator beam, which I somehow totally looked over. Just so you know, I'm aware of it, and as you're gonna see at the end of this video, I fixed the problem. I attached the horns. The build is once again at 100%, so don't worry about it. I fixed it. Okay, back to today's video. Let's figure out how we're gonna do this here. Looks like just the holes and everything just match up. There we go, and we're gonna be securing this in place using 4 DP screws. Okay, and with that, the 4th screw is in place there, fitting the radiator. Following that, we're going to be moving over to part number 6, which is going to be fixing the cable to the generator. So take the cable, which was included with this build right here, and push it into the pin of the generator plug on the generator. Once again, that's going to be on the actual Ecto right now. So before I attach that, as always, I'm just going to stretch out the little hose here using a pair of tweezers, and I'm once again going to use those tweezers to attach this to where it needs to be. Alright, so there we go. So cable is attached now, and I'm sure that is going to attach to something very, very shortly here as we continue our build videos. So it looks like after that, stage 25 here is totally complete. This is what it should look like. Of course, we didn't really do too much here, but we did build, obviously, the radiator and such, and for an area for it to actually attach to. So let's go ahead and flip over to the next page, if I can turn it here. Stage 26. The control box, battery, and oil reservoir. Once again, with this stage here, it looks like we're going to have some smaller pieces here. I mean, actually some really tiny small pieces, as you can see. So let's go ahead and see where we're going to begin. It looks like we're going to be fitting the control box first and foremost. So it looks like for that, the first piece that we're going to need is this little guy, which matches up. And then, yeah, this little piece here, so yeah, it looks like there's just a couple of holes that are going to intersect here. So should hear a little snap. Well, didn't really hear a snap, but it went into place there, and we're going to secure that using 2 DP screws. Okay, so we got the 2 DP screws there in place in the control box, and it looks like from there we're going to be attaching that as figure B shows to what we built previously in stage number 25. It looks like for that, yeah, once again, some holes that just kind of line up there. Just going to kind of pop that in place. Alright, now that it's in place, we're going to move it around and we're going to secure it using a couple of IP screws. Okay, so we got the IP screws in place there. Control box is now fitted, and then from there it looks like we're going to be going on to assembling the battery. Speaking of the battery, looks really cool. Love the detail on it here. Now it looks like our first step with that is we're going to be affixing that to the main battery base. So let me line this up, make sure I've got everything correct here. There we go, so that is in place there. And we're going to be securing that, I think, at the bottom here. Yeah, at the bottom, using a couple of DP screws. So we got the second DP screw into place there, and it looks like we're going to be affixing the battery to this piece here. So let's see how this is going to go in. Yeah, there's a couple little holes that just kind of line up. So now that that's roughly in place, we're going to turn this over, and we're going to put a couple of IP screws through here to secure that one also in place. Okay, so that is now in place. Battery is now secure. It looks like for our next step, we're actually going to be bringing in the Ecto-1 because we're going to be fitting the oil reservoir to it there. So let's go ahead and grab the pieces that we need for said oil reservoir. Reservoir, not reservoir. Or is it reservoir? I mean, I don't know. Like if you're in France, is it reservoir? Okay, so we got the main body, the main piece right here. And then we actually have the oil cap, which actually does say oil right on the top there. Cool little bit of detail. And yeah, we're just going to attach that in there. It just fits right on top. And we're going to be securing that using 1 EP screw. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, so we got the top there, the oil reservoir cap there up top. And then from there, it looks like we're going to be adding the bottom portion to it there, which just goes right on. And once again, we're going to be using a DP screw to attach that into place. Screw, 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 DP going in here. And yeah, once again, once this is built, we're going to be attaching everything to the main front of the Ecto-1. Looks like with some DM, well, 1 DM screw and 1 EM screw. So let's go ahead and grab the Ecto-1, bring it in here, and attach this. Alright, so all we got to do to attach is we just got to line up the holes here. There we go, and yeah, once again, oh, I gotta move this up to see the instructions. We got one DM, one EM screw. Okay, so we got that now in place at the front end of the Ecto-1. Now that finishes up page number 17. Right now we're moving over to page 18. Step number 4, which is going to be fixing the radiator beam. So that's what we've already built here, pretty much, is the radiator beam, right? So let's actually bring the Ecto back into frame, I guess. So it actually looks like to attach the radiator beam, well, the assembly of the beam here, there are the two small, what are the correct terms of these? The cooling pipes in the front, up top and down here at the bottom, and they're actually going to rest inside of the radiator. So let's go ahead and slide this in where it needs to be. Let's line up those radiator pumps. Alright, so I got the pumps in place there, both the top and the bottom one here. Let's go ahead and move the Ecto around a little bit, because it looks like our next step is we're going to be running a small EM screw through the side of here to obviously keep this secure and in place. Okay, so we got that screw in place there, and it looks like we're going to be doing the exact same thing on the other side, once again using another EM screw. So give me a second, let me finish this up here. Okay, so now that we got the two screws in place here, attaching the radiator beam in place, keeping it nice and secure, our next step is going to be taking the wire that we put in earlier, and we're going to be affixing that to, what do we got here, the junction box. There we go, so wire there is in place on the junction box. And then from there we're going to be moving on to step 5, which is going to be grounding the battery, which are these like really small kind of like little metallic pieces. And it looks like for the first one there, we're going to be attaching that to the right front fender. So there's like a small little nub that's just going to go in there. Okay, so that's on there now, and we're going to be securing that in place using an EP screw. Okay, so that's now on there. It looks like from there, we're gonna grab the other two like little silver pieces. And these little pieces are a little different. This one here is described as the ground terminal, and these are gonna be the two battery terminals. So it looks like for the battery terminals, we're gonna grab these two little wires that came with the build. We're just gonna run those wires right into each one here. There we go, so first one is on, that's in place. There we go, so we got the second one now also in, and I believe for these we're actually just going to pop them right into the battery, or onto the top of the battery here. Alright, there we go, so first and second battery terminal are in place there on the battery. And it looks like from there all we got to do now is just run these cables through. This battery terminal is actually going to be going into the ground terminal, so let's go ahead and stretch out that cable. And then the other cable we have here is going to find its way directly into the junction box right here. Okay, so it is now in there, it is secure, and that actually brings us now to the end of stage 26. So we are right now finished with issue number 8. As always, hope you guys enjoyed today's build. In general, I hope you enjoy these Eaglemoss Hero Collector Ecto-1 build videos, because I'm loving putting this thing together here, and I'm really enjoying the comments, the messages, the emails I'm getting regarding this build with all the questions. As I've said in the past, if you are on the fence about signing up to the subscription service, don't be on that fence. Jump off of it, sign up today, and yeah, start building your very own 1/8 scale Ecto-1. And that about does it, guys. As always, be sure to subscribe to Ghostbusters News here on YouTube. Bust that little bell notification icon. If you'd like to help support Ghostbusters News, we do have a Patreon page. Link to that can also be found right down below in the description. And my arms are getting tired because, once again, this is getting pretty heavy. So I'll see everybody right back here next time. Ghostbusters News right here on YouTube.